What's good? Good morning. I'm going to try to make this video and be as honest as I can. It might trigger some people, but I just want to discuss my personal lived experience that I know other men deal with as well. And there are some points that I really need to be very clear on, that I will try to be clear on. But first of all, as I say this, I'm an anarchist, so I'm not saying anything. This is no legal, this is no mandate, this is no force. This is just me sort of trying to put forward my idea of what a social contract could and should look like. And to me, wearing lingerie in public is harassment to men, particularly men who like women, straight men. So a majority of just regular men. This story is based on what I had to deal with yesterday. So maybe I should just tell that. I do, on the weekends, Walmart Spark deliveries and shopping. So I'll actually shop for customers, go into the store, shop, etc., drive, deliver. And yesterday, the weather was really nice, and I have a feeling it's already been a really beautiful spring here in the Pacific Northwest, and so I think we're going to have a fantastic summer, and I'm super stoked about it. And I realize as I'm talking about summer and thinking about the beach and the lake and whatnot, we're talking about bikinis and shorts and whatnot, and it's really hard to explain the difference. But to me, there's a certain contextual difference within the vibe, within the energy of when you're at a beach and when you're at a lake and people are wearing bikinis and men are in shorts and men are in Speedos, whatever you like. It's just, there's something different about the social setting that sort of modulates, might be the word I'm looking for, the sexual nature of things. However, when you are in public, like say at a Walmart, and you are wearing a lingerie top, so I haven't even told really what this person's wearing. I was doing shop orders yesterday, and for many shop orders, I encountered a woman who was also doing shop orders, and you can tell based on when someone grabs something off the shelf and scans it, and you just know that they're shopping. And I knew she was also doing what I was doing. Excuse me. She was wearing really bright white pants, like Diddy Party white pants, skin tight, right? Just showing all the contours. She was quite fertile, you could tell, just based on the hips and the bosom, the skin. Yeah, anyways, okay, so really tight white pants with literally, it had to have been some form of a lingerie top, because it was like lace, and for a lot of it was see-through, so you could see like the stomach, and then it was just like boobs, titties just popping out. Oh, and I love women. I think they're beautiful, and objectively, she was fucking a baddie, I think, as the kids call them. And so, I'm not trying to project any judgment here into this. I just am literally trying to talk about my lived experience, which is, that's really, really distracting and frustrating. And there's another element I want to get to, but I want to focus on the frustration first. As a single man, but even married men, man, if I was in public with my wife, if I had a wife, and then I see, well, that's a different story. We won't get into my wife. Anyways, I'm the bad example, because I would look at my wife and be like, dude, she's hot. And my wife would be like, yeah. Anyways, okay. But a guy whose wife might get jealous, which I could understand, it just puts everyone in an awkward situation. And there's kids around. And so this is something that I don't think women think about. And it's understandable because it's not their lived reality. A majority of women do not struggle to get laid. It's just an inherent value that they have. We could get into universal concepts, the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine. the aggressor and the submitter. These are just universal forces. And so women have something that men want. It's that simple, inherently. Even ugly women can get laid pretty easily. The opposite is not true. It is a lot harder for men to get laid. And that's like not even talking about if they want to do it ethically or morally, right? Like there's a whole genre of YouTubers, the game community, guys who talk about the game, like, and how to manipulate women into sleeping with you, which is just fucked up. I did a little bit of it in my 20s, and I'm honest about it, and I experienced shame and regret. And so when I talk about being a douche in my 20s, it can be made easier to get laid if you're willing to lie. That's the truth. It sucks. But for a man who wants to be moral and who wants to be virtuous, it's a lot harder to get laid these days. And so it is a visceral, extremely visceral frustration that I feel. And I know some people might judge me and cast various projections out at me, but I know a lot of men feel this way. This is literally biology, that when they see a very fertile woman flaunting all of her features, that tells our biology, hey, let's make a fucking baby. And yeah, I wanted to make a baby with her, but like I also want to see her as another human who deserves dignity and respect. But we're at this weird situation where she probably doesn't even know, or maybe she does. So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and think that she doesn't know how much it affects and frustrates some men. And my question to her would be if she knew how, because it like dominated my day yesterday. I almost didn't, like when I woke up this morning, I didn't want to come to Walmart. I'm here now, about to go do some shopping orders. I didn't want to come do it because I didn't want to have to deal with that again. It's extremely frustrating. And I've dated in my past. Like I'm not like an incel or whatnot. I'm just, my life, I live in a van. I don't have anything to offer. And so I don't try. That's, if and it's my own issue, whatever. But, I know just so many men are struggling right now. And, let me wrap up the video here. This does not justify any sort of like creepy behavior, acknowledging that this is the reality men face. And I think, and I'm not trying to slut shame, I'm trying to have a conversation. I think most women don't understand how deep the frustration goes for men around sex. I think that's because they don't have to deal with it. Sex is much different for women. And and I think a lot of men who bring this topic up get shamed. I can already see people wanting to like label me a predator or something like that for saying that I have deep biological, physiological like reactions to seeing a fertile woman flaunting her features. I can already see people projecting that, but it's projection. I think it's very healthy, in fact, to have this conversation. So we shouldn't really be slut shaming, but like we should be evolving and discussing what the social contract can look like. And to me, I would encourage women to not show that much skin in public. Encourage. I'm not, no force here. I'm an anarchist. And so as I bring this up, this is the final point, that if you are a man, the ultimate objective in a situation like this should be transmutation. So you should, and this is what I'm working on. This is my personal growth journey that I'm sharing with others. You should take that energy in and change it into something productive. And so one thought that I want to mainstream is take that energy, that feeling that you get when you see something like that, and give it to your wife. Give it to your wife. It could be sexually, but it also could be in other ways, because it is a charging force. Like if you've heard sexually charged, it's a charging force to be just like bam, smacked with such beauty. And so if you don't go have sex with your wife, go work on something that she's been wanting you to work on. If there's like a house project or like, a craft project or some project that she wants to work on, or even, if there's nothing like that, just go change that energy, transmute it into something productive. So for me, sexual frustration has actually been something that's been driving me to be more, productive with my merchandise. So I finally made that shirt. Go watch the live stream I did yesterday, where I detailed that shirt. That was a huge result of me sexual frustration and me trying to channel that energy. And so that's what the ultimate objective is. And so I want to be able to have a conversation socially around the idea of how harassing it is to be bombarded with hypersexual content all the time via digital media, which is one reason I deleted my I still have an Instagram. Like, I deleted the app off my phone and I just don't use it anymore because I'm just tired. Like, you like one thing and then your whole feed is fucking booties and ass everywhere. It's insane. Our culture is really hypersexualized, but that's intentional because we've been manipulated psychologically, physically, spiritually, and sex is one way. They have done that to us. Let me end the video here. Thank you very much. No shame, no judgment. This is just a conversation that I want to have. Much love, y'all.